And welcome to TYROLIT Tool School. The topic of today, disk case full of small quick change disks. See you in a bit. Good morning and welcome to TYROLIT Tool School. As I said, topic of today, quick change disks. But as you can see, I am not by myself today. I have my colleague Marla with me. Marla, what do you do with TYROLIT?
So I'm the product manager for our non-woven assortment.
Okay, sounds exciting.
It's very exciting.
Very good. Non-woven, that's more direction finishing, light deburring.
Yes, exactly.
Cool. Interesting. So means that we have quite a bit of that stuff in that case, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Very good. So tell us, why do we have a case like that?
So we want to give the opportunity to our dealers and our end users to test out different abrasive solutions. And we have here everything in one case with our quick change disks. And this is ideal to also maybe present less known solutions.
Okay, sounds cool. So it's basically a case with an all-in-one.
Exactly.
Everything is in there, going from heavy stock removal all the way down to finishing of a surface.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting, I would say. So if you're going to look at that case, you're going to find the following in there. So we've brought everything nicely put out there. So what you're going to have is discs for stock removal, the red line, so going from 36 all the way down to 120 grit size. So this is a disc that is made for removal of material. Then we're entering your domain. So
then we have two heavy-duty surface conditioning discs, one in coarse and one in medium. And then below that we have three surface conditioning discs, our standard versions, in coarse, medium and very fine. And then below that row we have our unitized wheels. And if we think about unitized wheels, we can visualize a stack of hand pads, put them together with resin, let it harden out. And the harder you press, the harder the disc gets.
So
and
basically you compress the discs, the
Yes.
material to a certain thickness. The more material you get in there, the harder it becomes, less material, something very flexible.
And in this case, we have 4 different versions of these discs, from fine to a bit coarser.
Yep,
Yeah.
cool.
And then we have our 3 versions of our strip-it discs. And here we have the standard version, the black version. The red version is the more aggressive version, more rigid. And then the brown version is the soft version.
Yep. And then we end up back to a normal abrasive. We have a flap disc, mini flap disc. And we have a flap disc, which is called a soft top, which I'll explain a little bit later. And then we have the 2 bristle brushes at the bottom there. So this is basically what you will find in there. How many kind of cases do we have?
So we have 4 different versions, 2 for each market. So we have 2 cases for the European market, 2 cases for the American market, and each market has the discs with 50 millimeters or 75 millimeters.
Yep. So that would be, for the North Americans, that would be 2 and 3 inch, obviously. So there we go. Now, where do you put the discs on is called a mini angle grinder. So I have air-powered one, and we have an electrical one over there. So these are the machines that are more used for that kind of discs. Now, I'm aware, if you have a tool like that, great. If you do not have that, then it's becoming very difficult to try that out. So in order to help you with that, we included in that box there a small adapter, a very tiny small adapter that actually allows you to mount onto a normal regular angle grinder. It's an M14. Then you take up your small backup pad, you screw that on there as well. There you go. You can work with a 50mm or a 75mm disc if you take a 75mm pad with the mini discs. This is of course for demonstration or testing to find out if the disc really makes sense for a certain application, for a certain customer. So it gives you the opportunity to try that out, which is kind of interesting. It helps you with that. So if it provides a solution, the customer can buy the tool to use the product on. So that is basically included also in that set. So that's kind of cool. So now to the first disc we're going to try. First disc we're going to try is the small red one here. It's a grid 36 ceramic grain, so fairly aggressive, I would say. Top size coating on top of that. So top size is going to reduce the heat development during the grinding, and it's made in 3 different layers. You see the white one, you have the layer of the abrasive itself, and there's an intermediate one. So you have 3 different layers that actually give a lot of stability to these discs. Now, what does that mean? Is that I can remove this nail with that small disc without destroying the disc, hopefully, and taking that down in quite a short time. So that's basically to show you the stability of this tiny little disc, to do that as convincingly as possible. So let's see how that works. I'm going to use the air power tool to doing this. 36 grit is already on there, and let's have a go at that. The disc is still there. It's not damaged. You can see a little bit of wear on the top size coating, but otherwise than that, nothing. Nail gone. So disc 1, nail 0. This is what a disc like that can do because of the stability that it provides. It helps with that. Now, of course, to show you that it's not just a coarse grit size, you also can work with a 60 grit to remove a small weld. When I say a small weld, something like that, for instance, stainless steel frame, the corner weld, I want to remove, flatten that out. Just remove that quickly. So changing to the 60 grit, like that, and then quickly remove that small stainless steel weld. Nice finish, cool finish. Only a small area has been touched because of the size of the disc, and also if you look at the disc, also there nothing is happening with that disc. It just barely touched that and done. So this absolutely are some possibilities you have with a quick change disc with a ceramic grain and a very good stability on that. So now we're entering the domain of Marla. Marla, tell us, what are you going to show us?
So today I'm going to show you our surface conditioning discs, the HD versions. Mm-hmm. They are a bit less known, but they are very nice products. So we will take a look at that.
Perhaps we need to tell that. What is the difference between the HD and the normal version?
So the HD stands for heavy duty. We have a disc that is more aggressive, has more grain inside. And it's more rigid, and thereby it will remove more material than the normal version.
So if you would get that case and you're going to look at those two discs, the difference is visible.
Yes, exactly.
So you can actually see that. This one is the HD, this is the normal one. So quite a bit of material on there. Cool. So what are you gonna do with it?
So we're going to deburr a part and maybe remove a bit of scaling.
Let's take a bit of a challenge there, right?
Sounds good.
There we go. So what we've taken as a workpiece now is this extreme. Is we've taken a plate that is basically waste. It's the material that we use for testing in our test center for the large cutoff wheels, like the ones going up to 1 meter or more. So you have, of course, very large burrs on that. Right?
Yeah.
So what are you going to do with that?
Take the HD version.
HD
Let's see what we
version,
can
and then
do.
remove the burrs on the sides of that and clean that up. So this is an extreme application for surface conditioning disc, even for an HD.
Okay.
Okay. So I must say this is quite impressive. So you see that all that has been cleaned up. That burr is on both sides is gone. You still see it there. There it's gone. And if you look at the disc, because the sharp edge, it removed a little bit of the outside diameter, but it's a little bit. So the disc is really going through that very nicely. So is this a standard application for something like that? It's extreme, isn't it?
It's extreme.
It is
yeah.
extreme. So to give you an idea on something like that is, imagine you have laser cut holes in a plate and you have those small burrs on that and you need to take that off. That disc will do that quickly and easily without damaging the material. It will not remove anything from the material itself, but it will remove the burrs and finish that. These are options you have with something like that. So another one that I think interesting is the...
We can also remove here our point welds.
Okay. So let's give that a try. So you're telling me that you can actually remove the small welding spot right there. Just normal regular steel, but a small sharp welding point right there. You can see that plate here. So, okay.
Yeah, that should
I'm
be
interested.
possible.
That's okay, cool. So with a disc that has been abused before, it still does that. That's kind of cool.
That's really nice.
It is nice. That is nice. So you want to do
Yeah.
the
Sure.
medium one?
Yes.
You okay? What do you want to show on the medium one?
So on the medium, we are also going to remove some welding points. And here we also want to explain, maybe shortly, that with the HD version, we can remove the welding points and remove the discoloration. With the normal version of the surface conditioning discs, that won't happen, just the discoloration.
Yeah, so exactly that. So you work on that with the normal medium, you take off the color of the welding, but you will still see the uneven surface of the welding spot. With the HD, it will take off everything. So there is gone. So absolutely how it should be. This is what the HD gives you. It allows you to do that. You could actually, theoretically, you could actually work, if you have a tube, stainless steel tube, and you have a weld on that, on an edge, it will take that off. It can do that. That's what an HD can do for you. So there's all possibilities with that kind of product. What else?
Perfect. Then I think we should move on to our unitized wheels. So we are going to test today our 6F Fine. We are going to do some deburring on a aluminium profile. Perfect, thank you.
You are most welcome.
With these discs, we have different naming than with our other products. So we have a number, so 6 stands for the density. So we have from 2 to 8.
Yes.
And the higher the number, the denser it gets, so
Yes.
the harder the disc is.
Like the 8, I can't bend at all. At all, it's not possible. Now if I would take the 2, I can actually bend that. That's the difference. So application-wise, remember the welding seam on that frame there? If I just want to remove the bluing after welding, that 2 would be absolutely fine. We'll take it off without any problem, but it will not remove anything from the material. No, nothing from the weld itself, just the coloring. So, and now we're gonna deburr an aluminium part there.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. So here as well, the disc looks totally fine, a bit used on the edges, but
It's not a new disc, we used it before,
yeah,
isn't it?
we used it before.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that edge has been broken. Now, why did we take a part like that? Why did we take an aluminium part? Is especially when you go into, for instance, smaller parts, aviation industry, that can be also in the car industry, decorative parts elements that needs to be light deburring. This is exactly what that kind of product will do. Is exactly where it can be used for, is for doing that. Creating a bit of a finish and light deburring, not attacking anything. That's what a unitized wheel will do for that. And I've seen this done on aluminium parts like this. Well, not exactly like this, but similar to it. What else?
All right, then we have our Strip It products.
Strip It, yes.
Maybe we will start with the soft version.
The soft version, there you go. The soft version is, as it says, softer.
It's a bit more flexible, so if you have a part that is not exactly straight and you want to push more into the geometry, this works totally fine. These products are made primarily to remove something from the surface without changing anything on the geometry. So here we will just remove the paint or rust. Is also an option.
Important one on that is also speed. In this case, we have a variable speed angle grinder.
Exactly. So we were going to lower that speed.
So if you have a tool like that, you can change speed. Try to do that. It's going to extend the lifetime of your product, and it's going to be as efficient. So you don't have to work at 25,000 RPM. There's no point in that. So in this case, you work at a lower speed, it's going to be as efficient, and you're going to have much longer lifetime. I'll hold the part for you, support it.
Perfect. Then let's start. We can already see it was pretty quick and looks very nice.
It doesn't feel rough at all. Absolutely not. Also, it's taken off everything, meaning primer, the coating on there, everything is gone. You're on blank metal now, still on the steel, on the material itself. So this is what that kind of strip it material will do for you. It will strip off everything what is on top of that, which is kind of the point. So we're back to me, and right?
Perfect.
Okay. on the flopped one, the flop disc, I'm going to do a very, very, very easy one. I'm going to do a very easy one. I use the regular one, the regular 50 millimeter flop disc. Used it before as well. And I'm going to remove a couple of welding points on the aluminium frame. So there we go. Welding point is being removed. The flop disc is still in a decent condition. Now, if you might have a problem working on aluminium when it's loading up, then you might consider using a little bit of grinding grease on that. It will avoid the loading up problem that you might have with using abrasives like this. So this is actually pretty cool. It does that quickly.
And we also have a second version of these flap discs in the case. Thank you.
We do have a second version, which is this one, kind of a funny shaped. Look at that. It's a soft job. The soft job, you can see the flaps completely structured in a different way. The reason why is because it will adapt to a radius. So if you have a radius that needs to be followed, then this will absolutely do that. It will not be as aggressive as a normal flat disc. It will work much softer. It will still remove material, but it will work much softer. You have much more control on the aggressiveness of that disc. And the last one is a bristle brush. A bristle brush is the following. Is this. It's a heat plastic, basically. A thermoplastic, that's the right word. I forgot the right word. Thermoplastic with grain in there that will actually adapt to a workpiece without damaging anything. So it will clean something, it will remove a very tiny burr without going into the material itself. So because of the structure, it's very flexible, it will adapt to a difficult shape. Now, the ones that I found to do a nice trial that is more or less, well, visible, is this plate here, where you have all those shapes on there, where we're gonna work on there to remove the rust on that without damaging that surface. Again, this is one of those products, if you can reduce your speed, it is highly recommendable. Well, so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. Following that shape, top of that, the next one, following that. This is basically what it does. It does not remove the scale layer. It's just removing the rust also along the difficult to reach areas. Of course, this is a very small disc to do something like that, but it shows what it can do. It shows you what are the possibilities with something like that. So this is basically what we wanted to show you today.
Yes.
So you have this amazing case with a lot of different discs in there, obviously, all the different grades in there to try new solutions out. Mm-hmm. That was the word you used before, so which is very good. New solutions out at end users. Also for our partners, their sales guy with a case like that, they can take that along and do the trials on the spot. They have everything there, they can try that out. So it's very practical thing to have. And it, yeah, well, it's also looks very good as well. It's not too bad, not too shabby.
I agree, yeah.
So that was it. That was it from our side. Thank you very much for being there, and we're looking forward to seeing you next time at Tool School.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
Take care, bye-bye, cheers.